Welcome back to Straight from the Hive. This is Alan Turanski, President and Beekeeper at GloryBee. I'm so excited to welcome our guest, Yoke Wong, Technical Director of Innovation and R&D for GloryBee. Yoke, welcome to Straight from the Hive.
Hi, Ellen. Good to see you again.
Yeah, it's great to see you. Well, I'm really excited to have you share a little bit about your background and to just dive into some great questions and conversations around honey and innovation and food trends. Yoke, you hold bachelor's and master's from Kansas State. You've had the opportunity to work at ConAgra and Starbucks. Tell all of us a little bit about your background in food and innovation and why you love the field.
Yeah, thank you, Ellen. This has been an exciting journey. I started my career really going back to my college time at Kansas State as a bachelor in foods and nutrition, and then eventually got my degree in food science. With this past 20 years, I have really had the opportunity to work with some of the best Fortune 500 food and beverage company, including Kellogg's, ConAgra, and Starbucks. I feel my life has been so fulfilled and rewarding being able to develop products and launch products into the grocery shelf. So I would say this is an exciting journey. I would love to spend a bit more time with you to understand a little bit about the food industry as well.
That's great. That's great. Well, let's dive in with our first question, which is tell us about the food trends that are going on right now and how you see honey plays a role in moving those trends forward and enhancing the consumer experience.
Sure, I'm happy to. So currently we're looking at quite a few trends in the food industry. Some of the trends been going on for the last 5, 10 years, but it's not slowing down any soon. If anything, they're gaining more momentum. So I will lay out three key trends that I'm seeing. The first one is the sustainability key trend. So this sustainability is not just limited to food and beverage industry. Really is anything consumer related. But when it comes to food and beverage industry, you can see that consumers are asking again and again for something that can be sustainable. We know that global population is growing. The food supply is not going to meet up to the expectation in about another decade. And so what this has translated and the implication is that we need something that has sustainability. Your packaging that you're using for your food industry needs to be able to sustain for a longer period of time. Your food ingredients that's using needs to be able to last for a long time. And so what this also bring out is a series of innovation within the industry. You're seeing a lot of alternative protein, plant-based protein products. This is actually a result of the sustainability because consumers now are feeling they're not able to continue to consume dairy, meat products. And so what they want to do is look for alternative that can give them the same nutrition without compromising on the long-term results. So that's one key area that I'm seeing. The second key areas is health and wellness. So I have seen this trend for the last 7 years now. In the beginning, consumers are asking for something that is natural. They continue to go back to the ingredient statements. They want something that is easier to understand, something that the grandma's pantry has, nothing like chemical that you see on the label. So that's one key thing. And then as time moves on, they're also looking for something that is natural, not artificials. They're looking for the ingredient that is good for the health and so on. So coming out of that, we are also looking at the third trends, and that is functional. Functional can be anything. It can be functional for your health, functional for your mental health, functional for your immunity. So that's a series of product that is related to functional. But what I want to talk a little bit more is really how all of these trends can also help us, move toward a healthier lifestyle. And honey is an ingredient that you and I are very familiar with. It's something that you have
Yes.
in your grandma's pantry ever since you were born. I remember when I was little, my mom would tell me to drink honey and lemon water when I have sore throat. And this is still a
Yep.
treatment, a remedy for generations. And so, because of this, I think honey plays a key role when it comes to the trends, whether there is existing trends or new trends. I'm just excited to be able to talk with you guys a bit more about, what trends we are embarking on and how honey can continue to fuel this innovation.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about those old recipes, I grew up with honey, peppermint tea, and lemon. That's the cure for the sore throat. And I have to say it worked. I mean, I think it really worked. Down a few cups of that a day, and sore throat's gone. So, uh, honey's amazing. It's
Yes,
got a lot of
yes.
amazing properties. Yoke, what inspires you about using honey in the food and beverage industry?
Well, honey is a sweet story, right? Who doesn't like sweet? But what is more important is really the overall, everything about honey that makes it intriguing. If you think about honey, really it's kind of a byproduct of bees. They visit millions and millions of nectar and collect those and bring it back to the hive and save that as their food. Well, good thing they don't need all of those foods, and that gives humans a lot of opportunity to consume their essence. And honey really is kind of the things that's been going on for centuries. I remember when I first saw the words honey in the Bible, and that's like, a Bible with years, thousands years of history. And people know about honey before they even know about a lot of other things. So that is one
Hmm.
thing that makes us exciting. Second thing, because of its wholesome nutrition, as a sweetener. At the same time, it's also a flavoring agent. If you look at all of this component, you got something that is delicious, and you get something that is complex in flavor, and you get nutrition. All of three in one thing. That makes it so interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I have to ask now, and what is your favorite type of honey that you've ever tasted?
This is a hard question, Ellen.
I
Because
know,
how
I
can you?
know. For somebody who likes all sorts of flavors, it's a very tough question, but
Yeah.
I have to throw a curveball at you,
I
so,
think you put me on a tough spot here. Maybe I will narrow down to two honey.
Okay.
The first honey really is maybe regional related because I live in Pacific Northwest. Pacific Northwest has a lot of great pollens and great fruits and flowers and so on. So my first one is actually the Pacific Northwest honey. And I know GloryBee has a great one. I continue to enjoy it. I've been getting those and even send some out to my friends and family. So people like that one. One of the key thing about
Oh,
that
yeah.
product is it's complex. So it's not just your one-dimensional sweet honey. It also has some subtle hints of your fruits, your berry notes. And so a little bit of the brown notes in the background, a little bit more caramels, and so on. I can go on, and you can see that I'm a foodie. But there's so much you can talk about with this honey. And then the second honey is a bit more general one, but it has a good purpose. That is the honey blossom. This is the California blossom honey. What I like
Hmm.
about this one, it goes really well with tea. Because tea, as everyone know, that most people like maybe a hint of sweetness in their tea. This blossom honey, because it's a bit more floral, it really goes well with tea like your jasmine tea, right? Things that is a bit more floral within the realms. So those two just pair so well together.
I love it. I love it. Well, for me, being an Oregonian and also just living along the West Coast, I certainly can appreciate the love for the Northwest honey, which, certainly has a lot of predominant blackberry blossom notes, and blackberries, of course, are well known um, within the industry and within, the region. And then, of course, California, we think it might be known uh, for a lot of different things, Disneyland and whatnot. But back in the day, and it still is known for oranges, and so that orange blossom, that blossom honey that you were talking about, is fantastic. Well, Yoke, you talked a little bit about the influence that honey has on the food and beverage industry and sort of its history. How have you seen honey used in different parts of the world?
Yeah. So interesting that you're asking me these questions because I actually was born in Asia. And I have shared with you, honey is just, a big part of our diet, not just honey alone. In fact, I remember my mom would ask me to try out some of the bee pollen, which is also a byproduct of bees. But honey, along with the many products that come with it, has been interesting and play a key role in innovations and products launches in different part of the world. In Asia, I would say, if you look at some of the countries, China, North Asia, people use honey a lot with the tea, and that's one of the reasons why I like the California blossom. The tea, most of the tea product, they would have a hint of honey notes to it. We have also seen in Australia, a lot of people are gravitated to having honey as a part of their diet. We see that whenever they have coffee, have tea, they also even put it on the avocado. And you probably don't realize that avocado, because it's a dense, nutritious ingredient, but it's also a little bit bland. So with that blandness, it goes and pairs so well with the honey. So that's one thing I would encourage you to try out if you haven't tried it out. Avocado honey is like your perfect breakfast, and good with nutritious. And then in Europe,
Ah,
yeah, so something to try it out. So that's also in Europe. I have seen you have seen a lot of different boutique kind of a honey companies. They would launch honey butter. They would have things like that, and that just it piqued your interest. You want to find out a little bit more about what honey can do in your diet and so on. I like that question.
I'm Go ahead. Yeah, no, that's great. You got me inspired. Now I'm thinking my avocado toast can have a little honey drizzle on it, um, one of the things I was doing the other night was cooking up and sautéing some carrots, and I really love. And you mentioned honey butter. We have this brown butter honey ghee, and it is great to saute carrots in and whatnot, and it just adds a great dimension. So I love hearing about the different innovations and uses of honey around the globe, because it is ancient, and it is found in all areas of the world. So that's fantastic. So Yoke, here is a big question for you. What makes honey a versatile ingredient?
Yeah, honey is such an interesting ingredient. Just now we talk about, the nutritional, the sweetness, and the complexity in the flavor. It really makes me wonder, what else can we do with honey, even though it's a sweetener? But you can use it in a lot of products. It doesn't have to limit to just a sweet applications. You can use it even in the savory products, because some savory
Hmm.
needs a hint of sweet to kind of balance out the overall notes. And we have seen that in product out there. Using example of honey ham. I mean, ham by itself is a savory product, but once you put a honey in there, it becomes such a complex and balanced, flavorful meat product. And so that's an example. And then I'm looking at, you can use Of course, honey in a lot of beverages, which we talk about. They are tea, the coffee that you can use it. It just complements really well with it. Also, we look at, honey can be used in confectionery, can be used in baked goods, and so on. One thing about food industry, we know that there's a season to it. Every time when we go into a different seasons, consumer are looking
Hmm.
for something a little bit different, things with a twist. We just, went through our spring season, heading into summer now. And summer seasons, and people are looking for something more refreshing. You can consider having some sparkling drinks. Sparkling tea with honey is perfect. You can even look at just sparkling honey by itself. Maybe put in some lemons and put in some fruits in there, kind of like your cocktail without the alcohol, right? And so there are things that you can do with it. When I'm working with company launching products, I know every time I look at the product that I'm working on, I always ask myself questions. What product would this be suitable for? And what seasons would be suitable for? So once you have that in mind, it unlocks a lot of opportunity and potential to use ingredients. And so honey is that kind of ingredient that you can use in any seasons, whether it's your spring, whether it's your summer, your fall, your winter. It also is applicable in different applications, whether sweet, savory, snack, or baked goods.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It gets me thinking about honey, comes from all these different floral sources, and some of them bloom at different times of the year. And so there's different flavors. And of course, you're talking about different seasons for food and beverages. And then also just the versatility of the fact that, honey has these other amazing properties that, you know, for instance, it's hydroscopic, so absorbs moisture, so it helps keep baked goods fresh longer. And it's a great natural energy source, the way your body processes honey and you're consuming it. So there's just so many different reasons and different applications in which honey can be beneficial. And I love how you talked about it through the eyes of a season, because we do go through seasons of life and through seasons throughout the year, and our food desires change with those seasons. And so it's fun to see how honey can be incorporated into all those, and not just sweet products, but savory and otherwise. So, Yoke, a question I know our audience has just been waiting to hear about. How did your career lead you to be connected with GloryBee?
Yeah, Alan, you and I have known each other for quite a number of years now. I think that's the beauty of the food industry. Even though it's a big industry with hundreds of $billion, but the community is actually quite small. Once you know someone, you kind of work with the person ever since. So I have known Alan's for so many years now. We started working on projects together when I was in my past company at Starbucks. Along the way, I have launched quite a few products, and there's this product that just stick to my mind. It is really the caramelized honey latte that Starbucks launched in 2017. This product is utilizing honey as a ingredient. As I talk about, honey is unique in a way that it's not just sweeteners, it's also a flavoring ingredients. So honey, with this product, we actually cattle cook it for a long period of time until it turned out to be sort of a caramelized honey flavors without utilizing any flavors. It's just natural. And so because of this project, Ellen and I have started bonding. We talk a lot about, the benefits of honey. And we even talk about one of the campaign that GloryBee was doing, and that Save the Bee campaign. At that time, I was pretty new. I didn't know about there's such a campaign. But once I learned about what the company wanted to do to help save the bee, that gave me additional motivations and just really piqued my interest even more.
Yeah, I remember being with you and your team and just having a blast sampling honey, tasting all different types of honey, sampling meadow honey, which we know is this unique honey in Oregon that has these vanilla, kind of marshmallow, cotton candy flavor notes, and everybody just getting wowed and excited about that. So
Yeah, yeah,
we've
absolutely. That's
we've had a lot of fun, getting to know each other over the years, and
mm-hmm.
so now you're here working with GloryBee directly as our technical director of innovation and R&D. So what makes you most excited about this opportunity that and this journey that we're embarking on together?
Yeah, well, to continue on with the questions, there was one product that I still remember that you had me taste it. That is the coffee honey. And I have to say, I have never heard of such thing. I didn't even know coffee tree has flowers, and that actually attracted bees to pollinate. But that one product itself really opens up a lot of innovation idea for me. And because of the earlier episode that we have, working together surrounding bees, working on honeys, and that landed me the new position now, working with GloryBee. When I look at GloryBee itself, I ask myself two questions, not just about my job, my role, but really about the company itself. There's a couple of things that really attracted me to GloryBee. First is the culture. Second is the people. So when you think about the culture, GloryBee is a family-oriented culture, but they're also entrepreneurial. I still remember there was one time I tasted this product that was launched a few years back by GloryBee. It's called the fermented honey. That just
Mm.
blew my mind. I have never tasted anything that is sweet, but multi-dimensional sweet, and also with a hint of alcohol notes. Those people that know about fermented honey would know honey is actually an ingredient that's used for a long period of time as a source of fermentation to be used in the alcohol industry. But just having the little twist to the drinks completely blew my mind. It just tells you how entrepreneurial this company is. They're thinking about how they can launch products, not just about honey as an ingredient, but also about the finished products. And that is the culture that I really enjoy and love working with. Another thing is about the people. Alan and his father, who's the founder of the company, they are big beekeepers. To me, that speaks a lot about how much they have passions about bees overall. So honey is a byproduct of bees, but it's also we need to make sure we continue to help making sure this bees community, this bees colonies, they are healthy in order for the company and the society to be sustainable. As we talk about the sustainable as a trend, and so that is important because of these two reasons: the culture and the people that makes me excited about this company. Another area is about what I can do to make my job more meaningful and impactful. Knowing that I work in a company that has great culture and great people environments, there's also a lot of things that I can do with honeys and the product itself. The fact that we are also serving customers and consumers with both a B2B and a B2C company just unlock a lot of opportunities along the way.
That's fantastic. I'm thrilled, of course, to have you on the team. And for me, your experience and your skill set, but most importantly, your passion for honey and, as you said, the bees, just means that we can innovate with our products and with our clients to come up with new and amazing products that use honey, but also that can create a give back to save the bee, which is fantastic. So super excited about all the innovation and creativity and R&D that we'll be embarking on together. Yoke, thanks for joining me on Straight from the Hive. This has been a pleasure to have you on board.
Thank you, Alan. It's great to talk to you again.